Savadetam Savadutam Parjanisetam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Srila Krishna Pada Sardanavita Shri Shakavatam Chay Shri Krishna Karma Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopila Kanta Radha Kanta Mujay Takta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavameshwari Vrishabhanu Shvita Dev Pranamami Hari Priya Panchakalpata Rudeshta Kripa Sindhu Vairujay Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome to this discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. Today we will be discussing on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Jaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhatreshu Nitya Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhagavati Naishtiki Hare Krishna. So in this chapter of chapter 3, the title name is Krishna is the source of all incarnations. So just to do a recap, in the chapter 2 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, or let us go to Canto 1, Chapter 1. So sages and Nainusaranya are asking 6 questions to Sutta Goswami. And those questions are: question number 1, what is the absolute and ultimate good for people in general? And then the sages ask about what is the essence of all the scriptures. And third one is, why did Lord appear in the womb of Devaki as son of Vasudeva? And question number 4 is, describe the Lord's Purusha avatars. And then they are they ask Sutta Goswami to describe the Leela avatars. And after Krishna left this earth, where did the religious principle take shelter after Lord Krishna's departure? So these are the 6 questions asked by the sages of Naimisaranya. So Sudha Goswami is giving answer to this question in chapter 2, up to 4 questions in chapter 2. So what is the ultimate, absolute and ultimate good for people in general? It is bhakti. And what is the essence of all scriptures? It is the process of bhakti. And then we saw the entire process of bhakti and stages of bhakti, how the bhakti results in knowledge. However, the question 3 is answered: why did Lord appear in the womb of Devaki as son of Vasudeva? That is to reclaim the fallen soul. So here we saw 2 questions, 2 answers. One answer was there in 1.2.34, but Srila Swami and Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, they give 2 other references. So, in summary, the Lord appears in the womb of Devaki as son of Vasudeva to reclaim the fallen soul, to nourish the devotional service, to rejuvenate the process of devotional service. So that is what that is why Lord appears there. Then we looked into the Purusha Avataras. For Purusha Avataras, we saw the Mahavishnu, then who sleeps in the Karana ocean, and from him millions of globules come out in the form of golden balls. And in each of these balls, there is a Garbhodakashaya Vishnu who is sleeping here. And from his Navi, Brahma comes, and in this lotus stem, the entire planetary system is located. And then his expansion is Shirodakashaya Vishnu, who is there in the heart of all the living entities. So if there is any problem, all the devtas go to him and take the take advice or understand what is the solution for the problem. So this is where we stop in chapter number 2. So if we have to look at the summary, so there were 6 questions asked and 4 questions are answered, and these are the shloka numbers. And the important theme that we discussed in chapter 2 is progression of bhakti, and in chapter 3 we will be looking at the explanation of Karanada Kashai and Garbhoda Kashai Vishnu further, and then Leela Avatars. And then in shloka number 43, there is a main reference to Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the answer where to whom did religious principles take shelter after Lord Krishna's departure. The answer is Srimad Bhagavatam. And then there is the parampara of Srimad Bhagavatam explained. So this is the summary of the important shlokas and the themes within this chapter number 3. The title is Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Now, if you look at the overall shloka content, so there are 44 shlokas here, and 1 to 5 shlokas talk about Purusha avatars. 6 to 29 shlokas talk about the incarnations and their source. So this answers the question number 5. Not narrate Lord's Leela. So it is explained here. Then Sutta Goswami is explaining also the imaginary material form, which is Jiva and Virata Rupa of the Lord. They are material forms. We can go into detail when we are seeing these shlokas. And shloka number 35 to 39 is about how we will describe and understand how the Shastras describe the Lord and how we should understand the Lord. And then 40 to 44, there is specific focus on Srimad Bhagavatam and its the Parampara system in Srimad Bhagavatam. So with this, we will be answering question number 5 and question number 6. So at the end of chapter 3 of Canto 1, all the questions asked by the stages of Naimisharanya are complete. Then we need to know what happens in the next, what happens next. So that will be the theme of chapter 4. So without delay, let's go to shloka number 1. सूतवाच जगृहे पौरुषं रूपं भगवान् महद् आदिभिः सम्भूतां षोडशकलम् आदौ लोक चिकित्सया. Suta, in the beginning of creation, the Lord first expanded himself in the universal form of Purusha incarnation and manifested all the ingredients for the material creation. And thus, at first, there was a creation of 16 principles of material action. This was for the purpose of creating the material universes. So, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining how Sri Krishna is expanding himself to Purusha features of Mahavishnu, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, and Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. So these are all very important for us to understand. But most important thing is the Mahatattva is assembled in some corner of vast, unlimited spiritual sky, and the part of which is thus covered with Mahatattva is called as material sky. This part of spiritual sky called Mahatattva is only a insignificant portion of the whole spiritual sky, and within this Mahatattva, there are innumerable universes, and all these universes are collectively produced by Karanodakashaya Vishnu, called Mahavishnu, who simply throws his glance to impregnate the material sky. So, the shloka number 1 is mainly talking about Karanodakashaya Vishnu, because he is creating the contents of the material universe. Now let us go to the shloka number 2. यस्यांबसि साय शयानस्य योगनिद्राः निद्रां वितन्वतः नाभि हृदाम्बुजात् आसीत् ब्रह्म विश्वसृजाम्पति. A part of this Purusha lies down within the water of universe. From the navel lake of this body sprouts lotus stem, and from the lotus flower atop the stem, Brahma, the master of all engineers in the universe, become manifest. So the form that we are talking about now is the Garbhodakashayi. So who is he? He is of this form. So Mahavishnu is here. He is giving all the material universes. And in each of these material universes, we have the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. So Garbhodakashayi Vishnu is sleeping here. From his navel, we have the long stem, and on the top of the stem is the lotus in which Brahma resides. And then these are the lokas. So the Bhuloka is here, our act is here. We are somewhere in this planet. Then below this is Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. Then Bhuva, Suva, Maha, Jana, Tapa, Satya. These are all the heavenly abodes. So this is what is described in this shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, so this is talking about Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. And from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, we have something called as Shirodakashayi Vishnu, who is the collective Paramatma of all living beings. He is called Hari, and from him, all incarnation within the universe are expanded. So um, that means what? So from him, there is a Shirodakashayi. There is Brahma. Brahma is here. Mahesha is here. Then we have Vishnu, who is the leader of department of mode of passion, mode of goodness. So he is there in the Shvetadvi. He is there in the Shvetadvi on the milk ocean along with Lakshmi Mata, and he incarnates to protect this material world from demons. So all incarnations from the spiritual world enter into this material world through this Shirodak Kashayi Vishnu. And this Shirodak Kashayi Vishnu is also entering into every jiva as Paramatma. So, so we know that in chapter number there is one shloka which talks about the three forms Bhagavan, Paramatma, and Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So this Paramatma, the absolute truth, can be realized as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So to explain what this Paramatma is, Suta Goswami is giving explanation of Shiroda Kashayi Vishnu in the next shloka. So he is explaining about Shiroda Kashayi. He begins here, and Prabhupada is giving once again an explanation of all the Purusha incarnations. And here, Yashya Abhyaya Samasthanai Iti Kalpito Loka Vistaraha Tadvai Bhagavato Rupam Vishuddham Sattvam Murjita. So this is talking about, it is believed that all universal planetary systems are situated on the extensive body of Purusha, but he has nothing to do with the created material ingredients. His body is eternally in spiritual existence par excellence. So this is once again talking about the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. So though he is within the material world, he is completely aloof from the creations of the, he is completely aloof from material ingredients. We will go to the next shloka. Pashyanti adorupam adabra chakshusha sahasra padora bhujana adbhuta. Sahasramurda Shravanakshi Nashikam Sahasramauli Ambala Kundalo Lasrat. So this is a very beautiful description of the Lord. The devotees with their perfect eyes see the transcendental form of Purusha who has thousands of legs, thighs, arms, faces, all extraordinary. In that body there are thousands of heads, ears, eyes, and noses. They are decorated with thousands of helmets and glowing earrings and are adorned with garlands. So here, Prabhupada is telling in the Brahma Samhita also it is said that Lord is always visible to devotees whose eyes have been anointed with tinge of devotional service. So we have to take information of transcendental form of the Lord from persons who have actually seen him with perfect eyes smeared with devotional service. Premanjana Stuchurita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Vilokayanti. So this is what Prabhupada is quoting from Brahma Samhita. So the idea here is that the Garbhodakashaya Vishnu which we have seen in previous in this law, in this form, he has thousands of limbs, thousands of faces, thousands of helmets, thousands of arms. Is explained as Sahasra Sirisa Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasraksha Sahasrapad Sabhumi Vishwato Vritva Adhyatishta Dashankar. This is how this Purusha Avtara is described in Purusha Sukta. So now let us once go to the next shloka here. एतनानावताराणां निदानं बीजमव्ययम् यस्यांशेन सृज्यन्ते देवकिर्य नरादयः. So this form, the second manifestation of Purusha, is the source and indestructible seed of multifarious incarnation within the universe. From the particles and portions of this form, different living entities like demigods, men, and others are created. So this is very specifically talking about the Karana Shiroda Kashaya Vishnu. The Vishnu who is a plenary portion of Garbhoda Kashaya Vishnu is the Paramatma. This is super soul of the universal life and is known as maintainer of universe or Shiroda Kashaya Vishnu. So the three features of original Purusharas are thus understood, and all the incarnation within the universe are emanations from the Shiroda Kashaya Vishnu. So right now, so this is now if you see the if you go to the Krishna, the source of all incarnations. So this five shlokas talks about the Paramatma feature, how Paramatma is extension of Sri Krishna, who is residing, who is the absolute truth. So we have seen that Bhagavan, the absolute truth, can be realized as Bhagavan, Paramatma, and Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So this is the description of Paramatma feature of the Lord. Brahman, we have already seen that it is the impersonal aspect of the Supreme Lord. We saw in the second chapter. Now soon we will come to know about Bhagavan feature also. So now let us get into the next part of this chapter, which is the Leela Avtaras. Narrate the Lord's Leela Avtaras. So uh, there are 25 described in this chapter, not 25, 19. 20 of them are described. Kumaras, Varaha, then Devarishi Narada, Naranarayana, Lord Kapila, Dattatreya, Yatna, King Rishabha, King Prithu, Matsya, Kurma, Dhanvantari, Nrsimha, Vamana, Parashurama, Vyasadeva, Ramachandra, Balarama and Krishna, Buddha and Kalki. So in this chapter, what is Sutta Goswami trying to explain? Sutta Goswami is trying to explain the Vishnu forms which are inside entering the universe. Then he describes Lord's many entities into the universe as Leela Avtaras. So these descriptions actually inspires Suta Goswami to proclaim that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Shloka number 23 tells Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, is the original Narayana, the supreme Lord Vasudeva, and ultimate source of all Purusha avatars and Leela avatars. Now we need to know what is difference between this Leela avatars and Purusha avatars. Leela avatars are the pastimes of the Lord who attract the hearts of the inhabitants of the material realm to the spiritual realm. There are innumerable Leela avatars. Sutta Goswami is introducing us only to the 22. He discusses very briefly about that. But in later chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam and later cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is an elaborate description of all these avatars. So Sutta Goswami is also declaring in the course of this that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord and is the source of all creation. So Purusharavatas deal majorly with the material energy or the Maya Shakti to create material cosmos, and Leela Avtaras are to reclaim the foreign conditioned souls from the universe. So now let us get into each of this shloka and try to understand. Shloka number 6. स एव प्रथमं देवा कौमारं सर्गमाश्रिता चचार दुश्चरं ब्रह्मचर्यम् अखण्डितम्. So this is talking about Kumaras. So first of all, in the beginning of creation, there were four unmarried sons of Brahma, the Kumaras, who, being situated in the vow of celibacy, underwent severe austerities for realization of the absolute truth. I actually want to touch one important point in this shloka. So here Prabhupada is talking about the Leela Avtaras. In different millennia, there are different incarnations and they are innumerable, although some of them are very prominent, such as Matsya, Purma, Varaha, Rama, Nrsimha, Vamana, and many others. These incarnations are called as Leela incarnations. Then there are qualitative incarnations such as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, who take charge of different modes of material nature. Lord Vishnu is non different from personality of Godhead. So this is what we have to understand very clearly. Then there is one more point. Manus who are prominent within the universe are therefore he is giving a description of all the Manus because Manus are also agents of Krishna. Then there is also description of Yuga Avtaras. There are Yuga Avtaras are incarnations of millennium. The Yugas are known as Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. The incarnations of each Yuga are of different colors. So what is difference between Leela Avtara and Yuga Avtaras? Leela Avtaras' main purpose is to enact a specific pastime to reclaim the fallen souls in the universe. But when there is a Yuga Avtara mainly comes to establish the Dharma for that specific Yuga. For example, just at the beginning of Kali Yuga, Krishna was there. Krishna, he gave his teaching of Srimad Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. It is a very important instruction. But his main thing is to enact pastimes, which becomes the main context for the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. But Yugatara is established by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who came uh, in the early part of Kali Yuga, and his main function was to spread the Sankirtana movement. He wanted to spread the cult of bhakti through chanting the holy names of the Lord. He came mainly to establish this Sankirtana movement. So it is very important for us to understand the difference between Leela Avtaras and Yuga Avtaras. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a Yuga Avtara. He also had a lot of pastimes, but he is prominent Yuga Avtara. Krishna is a Leela Avatar. Ramachandra Murthy, Ramachandra Bhagavan is a is also a Leela avatar. So this is something which we need to know. Let us go to the next shloka number 6. So first of all, in the beginning of creation, there were four unmarried sons of Brahma, Kumaras, who being situated in the vow of celibacy, underwent severe austerities for realization of the absolute role. So Kumaras come again and again in Srimad Bhagavatam, and they will be giving lot of instructions to other devotees. They will be also the main uh, players, or they play a main role in the incarnation of Varaha, Narasimha, Rama, and Krishna. So it is their curse which results in Jai Vijaya to come down as demons in three of their lifetimes. So three of their births. So it is very interesting. We will see it in detail as we go forward. Now let us go to shloka number 7. Dvitiyayam tu bhava yasya rasatala gatam mahim udarisyan upa tattat yajnesha shaukaram vapo. The supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices after the incarnation of Bo Baba Yasya Asatala Gatam Mahim. Mahim is earth. Rasatala Gatam Mahim. Udarisyan Upadatta Yajnesha Shaukaram. Shaukaram means hog, is Shukara Rupa, and for welfare of the earth, he lifted the earth from the neither regions of the universe. So we know Jayadeva Goswami's interesting shot. Vasati Dashana Shikare Dharani Tava Lagna Shashni Kalanta Kalevani Magna Keshavadruta Shukara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare. So this Varaha avatar is taking the earth from the lowermost part, and it is Vasati Dashana Shikare. It is located on the tusks of the Varaha avatar, and Shashini. Jayadeva Goswami describes it as Shashini. Shashini is usually moon, but Shashini is the feminine gender of Shashi. So Vasati Dashana Shikare Dharani Tava Lagna. It is situated very beautifully. Shashini Kalanka Kaleva Nimagna Keshavadruta Shukararupa Jai Jagadisha Hare. So he is all powerful Varaha avatar. There is nothing impossible for United God, and although he played a part of both, by devotees he is worshipped, staying always in transcendence. So it's a very interesting Varaha. Varaha avatar is a very interesting avatar. I think it is one of the most important. It is the first of the stories, histories which Maitreya Rishi relates to Vidura. So Tritiyam Rishi Sargam Vai Devarisitvam Upetya Saha Tantram Satvatam Chasta Nashkarmyam Karmanam Yata. In the millennium of the rishis, the personality of God had accepted the third empowered incarnation in the form of Devarishi Narada, who is a great sage among the demigods. He collected exposition of Vedas which deal with devotional service and which inspire non-fruitive action. The great city Narada. So here it is a description of Narada. Actually, if we see Srimad Bhagavatam, we think it is the story of Lord Krishna, but actually it is story of great devotees. And one of the main heroes here is Narada Muni. In fact, in the next chapters, we will see that it is only Narada Muni um, who forces Vyasadeva to compile Srimad Bhagavata because Vyasadeva was completely unhappy in spite of compiling all the Vedas, compiling the Vedanta Sutra. He was not happy with this. He was trying to balance his mind because he could not tell what is the essence of all Vedas. Why, what what one person has to do to get out of this problems of material world. So that comes out only in Srimad Bhagavatam, and that instruction Narada Muni gives to Vyasadeva. So Narada Muni actually is the spiritual master of Vyasadeva. Okay, let's go to the next shloka, shloka number 9. तुरीय धर्म कला सर्गे नर नारायण ऋषि भूत्वा आत्मो पसामोपेतम अकरो दुश्चरं तपा. In the fourth incarnation, the Lord became Nara and Narayan, the twin sons of wife of King Dharma. Then he undertook severe and exemplary penances to control the senses. So Prabhupada is giving the importance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Recently, within the memory of everyone, Lord Chaitanya also appeared for the same purpose, to show special favor to fallen souls of this iron age of iron industry. The incarnation of Narayana is worshipped. So he is coming. The Lord is very kind to her. He therefore comes himself and leaves being necessary incarnation, and also sends his good sons as representatives to call conditioned souls back to God. So Lord Chaitanya has come because he is the Yuga Avtara. We go to next shloka. Panchama Kapilo Nama Siddhesha Kala Viplutam Rova Chasurai Shankyan Tattva Grama Vinirnayam. So Shankya Yoga is explained by Kapila Muni to his mother Devahuti. The fifth incarnation in Kapila is the foremost among perfected beings. He is a Siddha. He gave an exposition of creative elements and metaphysics to Asadi Brahmana, for in course of time this knowledge had been lost. The sum total of creative elements is 24 in all. Each and every one of them is explicitly explained in Samkhya philosophy. Samkhya philosophy is generally called metaphysics by European scholars. The etymological meaning of Sankhya is that which explains very lucidly by analysis of material elements. Sankhya means count. So we systematically analyze and understand the material elements. This was first time by Lord Kapila, who is said here as the fifth in line of incarnation. So he's the fifth incarnation. Let us go to 11th. Sastam atre अपतत्वां वृत प्राप्तो अनुसूयया अन्वीक्षिकिम् अलर्काय प्रहलादादिभिः पूषिवान् प्रहलादादिभिः तेभ्य पूषिवान्. The sixth incarnation of Purusha was the son of sage Atri. He was born from the womb of Anusuya, who prayed for an incarnation. And so on the subject of transcendence, so Alaska, Prahlada, and others, Yadu and Ayya University. The Lord incarnate himself as Dattatreya. Dattatreya is very common. Dattatreya worship is very common in Maharashtra area of India. So it is one of the Lord's incarnations. We'll go to next shloka. Tatra saptama आहुत्यां ऋषि यज्ञो अभ्यजायत स रामाद्यैश्वरगणे आपा स्वयं भुवनतरम्. The seventh incarnation was Yagna, the son of Prajapati Ruchi and his wife Akuti. He controlled the period between the change of Swayambhu Manu and was assisted by demigods such as his son Yama. Yeah, so this is you will see much more in the further chapters about Yagna. Then Ashtame Meru Devyam tu Nabe Jata Urukrama Darshiyam Vartma Dhirana Sarvashrama Namaskritam. The eighth incarnation was King Rishabha, son of King Navi and his wife Meru Devi. In this incarnation, the Lord showed the path of perfection, which is followed by those who have fully controlled their senses and who are ordered by honored by all orders of life. So this is, we will see Rishabha is giving very strong instructions to his sons in subsequent cantos. So it is a very, there are many interesting shlokas which Prabhupada usually uh, quotes from the history of King Rishabha. Okay, with that note, we'll go to the next shloka. ऋषिभिः यासितो बेजे नवमा पार्थिवं वपु दुग्धेमं ओषधिर्विप्रस्तेनायां स उषत्तमा. O Brahmanas, in the ninth incarnation, the Lord prayed for by sages, accepted the body of King Ritu, who cultivated the land to yield various produce, and for that reason earth was beautiful and attractive. Ritu Maharaj was incarnation was the Sakti Avesh avatar of Lord, and this history is very interesting because he makes the earth beautiful by honoring it and trying to milk different things from earth by satisfying her. How she is satisfied? She is satisfied by executing proper yagna performances. So Ritu Maharaj gives an example of how to utilize earth for service of Vishnu and then ensure that all the citizens on the earth will be happy only by satisfying Krishna. So you will see this history in detail when we reach Prithu Maharaj's life. Then shloka number 15. Rupam se jagrehe matsyam chakshusodadi samplave navi arogya mahimayam aparaivastatam manum. Then there was a complete inundation after the period of Chakshusha Manu, and the whole world was deep within water. The Lord accepted the form of fish and protected Vaishnava Manu, keeping him up on a pole. So this is a very interesting form. Lord, fish is one of the lowest forms of living entities. Um, but Lord takes that form to ensure that our devotees are protected. Chakshusha Manu is protected when the entire earth is inundated. So Sripad Sridhar Swami, the original commentator of Bhagavatam, there is not always a devastation after every Manu. And yet this inundation after period of Chakshusha Manu took place in order to show some wonders to Satyavrata Muni. But Sri Jiva Goswami has given definite proofs from authoritative scriptures that there is always devastation after each and every Manu. So these are some technical things we need not have to get into it. For us, at this point of time, it is important that we understand the flow of Srimad Bhagavatam. We need not have to also need to grasp everything here. If you are able to understand the flow and then over a period of time, we will know which area we want to get strong in Srimad Bhagavatam. And then we can pick that area and do major research. For example, the first three shlokas of Srimad Bhagavatam are very, very important. So we can always make a deep study on these three shlokas and see how we can read the explanations given by different commentators on these three shlokas and build our knowledge on that. So right now, our idea is to understand the overall flow of Bhagavatam. So I'm not going deep into each of these shlokas. As such, we can do research in every shloka here. But idea here is not to go deeper into every shloka, but to understand the overall flow, so that when you read Srimad Bhagavatam, you will be able to connect to the major anchor points, and then that becomes your memory, that stays in your memory, and you build on that knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the idea of this entire discussion. Okay, let's go to the next point. Surasuraणाम् उदादिं मत्तन्नाथं मन्त्राचलं दद्रे कमतरूपेण पृष्ठ एकादशे विभु. So this is tortoise, Kamataha, tortoise, the 11th incarnation of Lord, took the form of tortoise, whose shell served as a pivot for Mantrachala, which was being used as a churning rod by the theists and the atheists of the universe. So we will see many detailed explanation of this entire pastime, the Samudra Manthan pastime, and there are 5, 6 incarnations just related with this Samudra Manthan. So we will see them. Text 70. Dhanvantaranam Dvadashamam Trayodashamam Evacha Apayat Sura Anyam Mohininyam Mohayam Striya. So this tortoise avatar, Dhanvantri avatar, Mohini avatar are all in and around the Samudra Manthan, in that entire pastime of Samudra Manthan. In the 12th incarnation, the Lord appeared as Dhanvantri, and in the 13th, he allured the atheist by charming beauty of women and gave nectar to demigods to drink. Chaturdasham Narasimham Vibhradaityendriyam Purjitam Dadarakarajay Urava Erakam Katat Krityata. In the 14th incarnation, the Lord appeared as Narasimha and bifurcated the strong body of atheist Hiranyakashipu with his uh, just as a carpenter pierces with his nails, just as carpenter pierces the crane, cane. So this one we will have a detailed description of Narasimha Avatar in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is very interesting. Pancha Panchadasham Vamanakam Kritvagar Adavaram Vale Padatrayam Yachamanaha Pratyadi Sustri Pistapam. The 15th incarnation, the Lord assumed the form of Vart Brahmana and visited the arena of sacrifice arranged by Maharaj Bali. Although at the heart he was willing to regain the kingdom of three planetary systems, he simply asked for donation of 3 steps of land. So Vamana, by his beauty and his position as a Brahmana, was able to impress Bali Maharaj and made him give the boon of giving 3 steps of land. And that while he was trapped, he was put in a spot. And then Vamana Dev arrests Bali Maharaj and pushes him to the lower regions of the lower regions of the planetary systems, and he becomes, as a reciprocation, he becomes the doorkeeper of Bali Maharaj. So it is a very interesting pastime. Avatare Sodashame Pashyan Brahma Druho Nrupa Tri Sapta Kritva Kupito Niyakshatram Akora Mahin. In the 16th incarnation of God, Lord, as Bhrigupati, annihilated administrative classes, Kshatriyas, 21 times, being angry with them because of their rebellion against Brahmanas, the intelligent class. So this is the Parashurama avatar. So Parashurama avatar we will see in Srimad Bhagavatam. And Tata Saptadashe Jataha Satyavatyam Parashara Chakre Vedataro Shaka Drishtra Pumsha Alpamedasa. Thereafter, in the 17th incarnation of God, Sri Vyasadeva appeared in the womb of Satyavati through Parashara Muni, and he divided one Veda into several branches and sub-branches, seeing that the people in general were less intelligent. So, Srila Vyasadeva divided Vedas into various branches and sub-branches for the sake of less intelligent clans, men like Dijabandhu, Shudras, and women. So, we need to understand that we are much lower than Shudras now. So we are 11th class or 12th class men, and for us, the only remedy is studying Srimad Bhagavatam. नरदेवताम् आपन्ना सुरकार्यचिकीर्षया समुद्रनिग्रहादिनी चक्रे वीर्याणि यानि अथ param. The 18th incarnation, the Lord appeared as King Rama in order to perform some pleasing work for the demigods. He exhibited superhuman powers by controlling the Indian Ocean and then killing the atheist King Ravana, who was on the other side of the sea. So here we need to know the original Valmiki Ramayana. Original Valmiki Ramayana is very nice. And it is important that in today is Ramanavami Day, and we should have all copy of the Ramayana with us. So it is very important to understand the history of Ramachandra Bhagavan. Just like we have Krishna book, we also have publications of Ramayana within ISKCON. So we should buy copy of that. And when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, we also read few pages of Ramayana every day so that we understand this one of the most important incarnations of Lord Krishna, which is Ramchandra Bhagavan. Please buy copy of Ramayana and read it on regular basis. It's very interesting, very nice. So Prabhupada also tells here, Lord Rama came to chastise the atheist and answering the prayer and desire of the demigods. He therefore took up the challenge of Ravana, and complete activity is the subject matter of Ramayana. So we need to read this. It is very nice one. एकोन विंशति में कृष्णेषु प्राप्य जन्मनि रामकृष्ण इति भुवो भगवान अहरत परम. So in chapter 2 we discussed about the impersonal aspect of absolute truth, it is Brahma. In the beginning of third chapter we discussed about Paramatma feature. And now we are talking about Bhagavan and Rama Krishna Iti Bhuvo. So it is who in the 19th and 20th incarnation, the Lord advented himself as Lord Balarama and Lord Krishna in the family of Vrishni, the Yadu dynasty. By so doing, he removed the burden of the world. So here it is told that Bhagavan came himself. He came, Lord came himself. Lord advented himself. So this Balarama and Krishna are both Bhagavan, and they are not the extension of the Stiroda Kashaya Vishnu, but it is direct Krishna and Balaram himself who are coming from the Goloka. Just to explain this further. So we have Krishna here. This is Krishna Loka. This is Krishna Loka. Radha Krishna is here. This is Vrindavan. So in this description here, This Lord Krishna is coming directly into this material. He is directly coming to this Bhuloka. He is coming from directly from Krishna Loka. He is coming directly to this. Usually, all incarnation which we talked about, Narada, Varaha, Narasimha, all of them came from through this Shirodakashaya Vishnu. They came from this Vaikuntha Loka through Shirodakashaya Vishnu. But this Krishna and Balarama came, they have Swayam Bhagavan. They came directly from Vishnu Loka into this earthly planet. So it is very important for us to understand the difference between. We need to understand the difference between the one which is talked about here. This Rama and Krishna is completely different from the other incarnation which are talked about. So here, Lord Krishna is not an incarnation. So the specific mention of God Bhagwan in this text indicates Balarama and Krishna are the original forms of the Lord. This will be further explained later. Lord Krishna is not an incarnation of Purusha as we learned from beginning of this chapter. He is directly the original personality of Godhead, and Balarama is the first plenary manifestation of the Lord. From Baladeva, the first phalanx of preliminary expansions, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, and Yuddha Pradyumna expands. Lord Krishna is the Vasudeva, and Baladeva is Sankarshana. So we need to understand this. So this understanding is very, very important for us. So the Rama and Krishna, which are discussed here, are directly the absolute truth in Vrindavan. That was very important for us to understand. Tato kala sampravarte sammoya suradvisham buddho namna anjana sutta kikateshu bhavati. Then, in the beginning of Kali Yuga, the Lord will appear as Lord Buddha, the son of Anjana, in the province of Gaya, just for the purpose of deluding those who are envious of the faithful theist. So, what does this mean? So, Krishna is, as a Paramatma, is trying to fulfill desire of everyone. So, he must therefore fulfill the desire of people who are envious of him. So the Buddhist theory is declaring there is no need of any Vedas. The Lord Buddha, a powerful incarnation of personality of God, appeared in the province of Gaya as the son of Anjana, and he preached his own conception of non-violence and deprecated even animal sacrifices sanctioned in Vedas. So he deprecated Vedas because he wanted to stop animal killing on the name of Vedic sacrifices. However, Vedas are the knowledge book given by Lord, so we cannot reject. That is why Shankara comes again and establishes the importance of Vedas. And Shankara ensured that there is no Buddhism in India. Or he ensured that to a large extent Buddhism is driven out of India. So Shankara established a very good platform for Vedic knowledge. And then when Madhvacharya and Ramanujacharya came, it became fertile ground for them to preach their own philosophy of Visishtadvaita and Dvaita. So, and subsequently, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, it became easier for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread the Achintya Veda Tattva. So we need to understand when we read Srila Prabhupada's books, the points that I mentioned, you will be able to easily understand. So it is important for us to read Srila Prabhupada's books and understand how the events that is happening in the history of this earthly planet are all linked with one another. And it is to fulfill the Krishna's desire of spreading Nama Sankirtana, the Dharma of Yagas, Nama Sankirtana throughout the world and spread the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam everywhere. So that is the plan of Lord in this age of Kali. So when Vedas are not accepted through authoritative discipline succession, the casual reader of Vedas are misled by flowery language of that system of knowledge. So we call the Bhagavad Gita, there's a comment made that such foolish scholars, avipastita. So avipastita. So they may misuse Vedas. However, in 15.15, what is my Lord saying? Vedescha sarve ahameva vedya. Throughout the Vedas, only thing that is to be known is Aham, Krishna, which is Krishna. So Krishna comes to establish the system of studying Vedas with the purpose of glorifying him, glorifying his devotees. So that is very important for us to understand. There is many points which Prabhupada quotes from different parts of Chaitanya Charitamrita, how Buddhism is not okay, and how Srimad Bhagavatam is very important. Let us read this important part. Srimad Bhagavatam was composed just prior to the beginning of age of Kali, and Lord Buddha appeared 2600 years ago. Therefore, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Buddha is foretold. Such is the authority of this clear scripture. There are many such prophecies, and they are being fulfilled one after the other. They will indicate the positive standing of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is without any trace of mistake, illusion, cheating, and imperfection. So these are the four imperfections in human beings, which are four faults of all conditioned souls. The liberated souls are above these flaws, therefore they can see and foretell things which are to take place on distant future dates. So this prediction about Lord Buddha is told by Suta Goswami because he is beyond the four flaws of conditioned soul. Brahma Pramada Vipralipsa Karnapada. So those are the four flaws. Let us go to shloka number 25. आतसौ युग संध्याया दास्यो प्रायेषु राजसु जनित विष्णुयाशसो namna kalki jagatpate. Thereafter, at the conjunction of the two yugas, Lord of creation will take his birth as Kalki incarnation and become son of Vishnu Yasha. At this time, almost all the rulers of the earth will have degenerated into plunderers. So, the name of his father. So Srila Prabhupada is giving some information about Kalki Avatar here. So Buddha Avatar has happened, Kalki Avatar also will happen. Text number 26. Avatara hi asankyeya hare sattva nidhe dvija yata avid asina kulya sarasosyu sahasrasaha. O Brahmanas, the incarnations of Lord are innumerable, like the rivulets flowing from inexhaustible sources of water. So the Lord's incarnations are countless. So there is Vishnu Sahasranam shloka told by Bhishma Dev in Mahabharata to Yudhishthir Maharaj. So Madhvacharya started writing, proposed a scheme that for every one name of Lord Vishnu, he can write 1,000 interpretations. And when he started writing that, is the people who challenged him that it is not possible to write, they said, yes, we agree to your scholarship. So that means 1,000 names into 1,000, that means 1 million, approximately 1 million, 100 explanations for every name. So it was quite difficult for others to understand the interpretation that Madhvacharya was trying to give. And then there is one of the famous Alvars who wanted to describe the beauty of Lord Narayana. So he starts with the shoes of Lord Narayana, the padukas of Lord Narayana. So he gives 1,000 glorifications. So we may think, what is there? 1,000 glorifications of just the padukas, but he says only 1,000 glorifications. So he said that I'm only eligible to describe the shoes, not even the lotus feet, only the shoes of the Lord. So that way, we see that devotees are glorifying the Lord with different names, and each name is related either to his quality or pastime, or his features, or his relationship with his devotees. Now, we also know that Adishesha is chanting the names of the Lord for a long time, and he is still counting it. So, so it is asankhya, innumerable. ऋषयो मानवो देव मनुपुत्र महादशो कले सर्वे अरे एव सप्रजा जपत्य स्मृतः. All rishis, munis, demigods, descendants of Manu were especially powerful. Plenary portions or portions of plenary portions of they also include the Prajapatis. So these are all vibhutis of the Lord. So we have seen all the incarnations. Now there is very important shloka, shloka number 28. We will touch upon this in our next class. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining this discussion. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. हरे कृष्णा.